everybody? How you guys doing today? Swamp Donkey back here again with another new player's guide to Gates of Survival. And today we're going to focus on skilling. And we're really going to go into the mechanics of skilling. Now, we don't have enough time to go through each and every skill and itemize every little thing that skill can do. Not only would that kind of ruin the game, but that would take hours. And I just don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's fine. I didn't even mean to put that in there. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the three categories that skills are in. We're going to talk about the connections between the skills and how you use one to build to get to the next one. And we're going to talk about some tips on skilling. And then we're going to open up a skilling page, kind of like we did in the new player's guide. And we're going to just go through all the information that you get, because it's pretty much the same from skill to skill, the information that you're receiving to help you judge how well you're doing on the skill, if you need to go up a level or down a level, or you're good where you're at, all that kind of stuff. So some of that information is going to be rehashed from the new player's intro video, but I think it's very important to, review those numbers again just to make sure that you know exactly what you're looking at when you go to skill. So right here you can see here are all the skilling skills and you can see all the icons and all the imagery and everything. And we did talk about this in the first video, but I just want to say it again. You can see where the people are. So use that to your advantage. But we'll talk more on that when it comes to the tips part of the video, and that'll be towards the end. So let's pick a skill, something I've done a lot of, which is cook and fish. I've done a lot of that. So when you go to when you click on a skill, you'll see what the quest for the day is. And you can see kind of the reward for the quest. So every day, you can get a handful of gems, you can get rank points, you can get coin, and you get to keep the stuff that is for the daily quest. So what I would say is, oh, okay, well I need to cut 4,500 Auburn logs in forestry. So I would go over here to forestry, and you can see there's a whole bunch of people there. Shocker, because that's where the skill is, and it's a free 9 gems. Now remember, you can sell gems for like 40 to 50 million gold. So this could be like 400 million gold right here or so. Give or take a little, So here you can see I can actually cut the Auburn logs, but it's at the very top of my skilling. So whenever you open any skill, you have to go to the bottom and you'll see the level required. The very first one will always be 1 because you're always number 1. Level 1 in every skill. So you can see that I've got 9,000 of these logs from when I've chopped them in the past before the mastery was instituted. Now you can see that the first mastery levels are usually 5 to 10,000. It's not that bad. You'll probably knock that out in a day, maybe less, probably less. But then you go up here, every time you graduate to a new log, they're worth more money. You can alch them, for more coin. You get more experience. But the mastery status is higher. So let's go over the statistics of this page just so you can kind of know. So first off, you'll see what skill you're trying to do. We clicked on forestry. Now we're going to go to chop pine tree. I can see that I have the level required. I know how much experience I'm going to get. I know how much experience is going to go to the clan, which remember, that's just kind of like a savings account for your experience. This is a bonus that if you are not in a clan, you don't get. Now this number depends on the level of your clan. The higher the level of the clan, the better this number will be. Think of it kind of like interest on a savings account. If you put money in a bank, a savings account, they'll give you a little bit of interest on it. Now not a lot. Is very, very small. So kind of like relation to this. You get 850 normal experience, and then the interest you get is 94 extra experience. Now this goes, like I said, to the clan in like a savings account, quote unquote, And then if you've got a good active clan, normally you can request for a certain experience or all your experience, and they'll give it to you relatively quickly. But we'll go over more of that in the clans video. This is very important here. You can see base gathering time. So you can see right here I've started a gather back on December the 17th for Auburn logs because I really needed them, and I just haven't gone back and canceled it yet. So what this means is it takes 120 seconds to passively gather these logs right here without you having to actively do the skill. And we'll go over the gathering grotto a little bit in this video. There's not really much to it other than like, let's say, if what I'll do is I'll cancel this so I can show you exactly what I'm doing. And you can see I'm level 199 in gathering, whatnot. And let's go back to forestry. And then now right here you see there's a new button. Okay, start passive gathering. Alright, so if I started that, you can see that now it's gathering pine logs for me. You can see the time I started it. You can see the forestry and gathering experience. Now you can see that the experience is much smaller than if you were to actively do the skill, which is nice. Now this says every 12 seconds, and I believe it said every 120 on the skilling page, so I could be mistaken. It does. Maybe that's an error. I'm not sure. We'll look into that. Either way, below here you can see how many you have. You can see the rank points you get if you succeed, if you fail, the buying and selling price, the alking, all that good stuff. So let's click on the skill, and right here up top, this is everything that all this kind of adds up to. We'll show you this. So you can either just watch this, or if you like seeing the breakdown, you can come down here and view all of this. Now here you have your level, your experience that you currently have, and what you need to level. So I don't need a full 127 million experience to level. I really only need like 8 million, give or take a little. And again, you can see all the numbers, your attempts. You can see the successes, which I'm 93% successful in this skill, and the failures, which is 6%. Now, me being personally or Swamp Donkey, I can't really affect this number. You get your bonus equipment automatically, so really it's all how you manage it. So let's say you want this number higher. Well, you would have to do skills that are like below your level, so you have a higher success chance. The higher this number is means that you're pushing the envelope and you're always doing the next greatest level of skill that you could possibly do. The very second you level, you go to the next level. That's going to make this number higher, but in my opinion, it does move you up the chain a little bit faster. So here you can see what equipment you have. I have a rune hatchet. You can see the timer. So right now this is my base timer of 8.75 seconds. We do not have a haste active right now. You can see how many logs I've chopped. You can see how many that I have. You can see that I've gained 12,456 experience. And I believe this might be base experience, something like that. But there's also an event going on down here. So you really have to just pay attention to these numbers. Right here is the chained action. This is very important. The more of these that you can chain together, the higher all of your experiences will be. Okay, now part of the reason I'm so successful in the chain is that there's a fate active. Now, we'll go ahead and explain fates really quick. What that means is that there are 25 people working on a skill and or more, and what that does is it gives you a higher success rate and you get extra experience per action. The chains go up to 99, so that means you can do 99 actions in a row successfully and continue to gain experience. I believe it peaks at 99. I don't think I've ever seen it any higher. Here you can see our bonus for the clan. You can see that I've actually gained 1 XP bonus for myself, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, but and my clan got 131. Now again, that doesn't go to the clan, that's just in a savings account, quote unquote, in the clan that can be given back to me. But there's also other options you can do later on. Here you can see how much I have saved up in the clan. So you can see I almost have a whole 1 million experience in the clan saved up. And that's mine. No one else can get it unless I give it to them. It'll show you like what you can do next. So in 71 levels I can chop sacred logs. Here's where you can see like boosts that are active. You can see we have a decouple boost that's 10 times. And it was activated by the community. And we'll go over how you do that in another video. You can see the pet spotlight right here. So if you have a pet that you're trying to level up, you can say, hey, right now there's a 2 times pet experience for cooking, so I'm going to go do cooking until 9 a.m. and then I can come back and do this or whatnot. Here you can see that I do not have the right pet set for forestry. So this is a good kind of like saying, hey, you know, change your pet out real quick. You can see timed events, so you can see that the afternoon is the best time to cook, or not cook, but what are we doing? Cutting logs. And then you can see your current pet information, and then right here you can see like the mastery status, the bonus RP that I'm getting, and you can see that I have an aura of experience bonus that is granting me extra experience down here as well. So that's all the stats when it comes to skilling. I'm going to claim my hourly bonus. Here's what it looks like when you actually claim it. You can see you get all your auras and everything like that. Very, very important. Do not do that. Or do not forget to do that, rather. So, how are the skills broken up? Well, they're basically broken up into 3 categories. You have your gathering skills, you have your production skills, and you have your supportive skills. So we're only going to go over a couple in each, but you can check out the wiki for a full listing. But for gathering, it's items like fishing, forestry, mining. You're just getting stuff. You are gathering stuff. Production, it would be like baking, cooking, crafting, fletching, you know, forging, things like that. You are building things. You are producing things. And supportive skills are like agility, which makes your timer go down. So it's a very important skill to use, and I believe it might affect your CAPTCHA, extending it longer. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%. But there's also stuff like looting, thieving, where if you're kind of broke and you want some free stuff, then you can loot it or you can thieve it, you know, steal it, and whatnot. So those are the 3 main categories. But on the wiki, there's also a combat category and there's an upcoming category. Now the combat is going to be on its own separate video because there's a lot to talk about with combat. And then the up and coming, you can see like what skills are due to be released into the future, because they're always developing this game. There's always new things coming in and out. So let's talk about skilling connections. How can you connect one skill to the other? Well, for example, if we go over here to cooking, you can see that you need a fish and a log. So for cooking, you have to do fishing and forestry. So down here at the very bottom, where you cook, what is it, sardines, shrimps. You cook shrimps. You have to fish and catch the raw shrimp. Then you have to have cut pine logs. And you can see I have a whole bundle here. So if we click cook shrimp, you can see I burnt the shrimp. Oh man, that's crazy. I'm level 1500. I can't burn the shrimp, but I burnt the shrimp. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. But you can see that it'll show you what inventory you have left. So I can cook this as long as I have both of these at the same time. But if I run out of one, I won't be able to do this any longer. Okay, what's next? Fire making. You have to do forestry to fire making because you have to cut logs for that. Forging is a big one. because you need to mine the ores, then you smelt the bars, which is another connection within itself, and then you take the bars and you go to forging. Now with mining, it's very important that you know what you need to forge. So right here you can see you have like what is this? Elements. You have copper, tin. So let's say you mine a whole bunch of copper and you're like, okay, I want to make, you know, a copper bar, which doesn't exist, but you may not know that when you very first start the game. So when we go to smelting, you come down here and you can see, well, there's no copper bar, there's a bronze bar. Oh, well, I need copper and tin to do bronze. You know, other materials you can do on their own, like silver and iron, but then up here to get steel, you have to do iron and coal and gold, and just keep in mind how many you have of each, so you know like how long you can do the skill. Okay, what else? Fletching is where you make like arrows, bows, things like that. You need forestry for that. Woodworking, same thing. You need forestry. You got to cut the logs so you can turn them into planks. As far as looting goes, little heads up for looting, you must complete Quest 5 in order to loot. I have not done that, so I cannot even look at what level 1 looting is yet. And on a separate video, we'll do that. Prayer is a very good one here. Prayer, what you do is as you battle monsters, you will get, you know, bones and skulls and things like that, and you can bury them for prayer experience. Now, what you do is when you level, so you can see like I'm level 163 in prayer, we're going to go to the church, and you can see what you want to pray. And it gives you certain bonuses. I believe they're all combat. Yep, they're all combat related. So like right here, I can do this one, and I can enhance my strength for by 40. So you can see that there are plenty of prayers. I just haven't unlocked them all. The cool thing about prayer skilling though is that I'll show you right here. You can actually do a by times 10. So you can get like a bunch of experience, you know, 231,000. You can see that I could level this in 5 minutes by doing that. And I have a ton of bones because I've done a lot of combat. Okay. What else? You have to mine elements so that way you can do rune binding. So we'll go up here. Now I've never done any rune binding, but through the power of claiming my bonuses, I'm actually at level 127. And I lied. Apparently I've done 97 attempts at rune binding. But that's nothing, you know, because remember there's some skills where I have over 1 million attempts. So keep that in mind. But here you have to mine elements, so then you can bind into runes. Okay, what else? Rune binding to spell crafting. You have to use these. So let's say I did a bunch of flame runes, then I could go to spell crafting and cast the appropriate spell to use these. But I can't do that if I didn't mine the elements to then bind to the rune to then go cast. So you see how they all build off of each other. So this video is kind of dragging on a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, just to be honest, but we're about to wrap it up. So a few tips for skilling to help you out. Number one, use the fates. It is well worth it to use the fate, even if you're like, man, I really want to get to a certain skill and I can't, I can't smelt, gold yet, but I really want to smelt gold, but I'm almost there. But like, let's say no one's smelting gold and everyone's doing mining like they are, it may be worth it to go ahead and work on your mining for a while just because you get the fate. And it's better experience, it's higher chance of success, and if you want to pump that success numbers up, those are rookie numbers, man. You got to pump them up like Wolf of Wall Street, anybody? It just helps. It helps makes things go much quicker. Tip number 2, know your CAPTCHA timer. The worst thing you can do is get all set up and you're ready to skill for quite a while, and then you go to watch a movie or you let it idle and you AFK for a bit, and then you come back and your CAPTCHA ran out like 2 minutes after you stopped looking at it. Like, know your CAPTCHA. Make sure it is set up and ready to go. Like you can see, mine is good to go until tonight at 9:30, and I'm recording this video at 9 a.m. I think I reset this at some point yesterday. If you click on it, it does take you to the bank because it's not, this link is not active, so it kind of defaults this area to the bank. But this will turn red when you need to use it, and obviously you'll just be able to say, okay, it's past that time, I need to refresh my CAPTCHA before it stops me from skilling. Finally, make sure you have the needed materials so you don't run out. So you checked out the fate. You know, let's say there's, you know, a fate for hunting for some reason, and maybe there's a daily quest for hunting. So you come over here and you get started, and you got your CAPTCHA set up, and you got time set aside so that you can just bang this out for a while, and then so you start watching a movie, you AFK for a bit, and 10 minutes into it, you run out of traps because you didn't make sure you had enough traps. Make sure you have the needed materials to do the skill for as long as you want to do them. That's the worst thing you can do, is to step away from your computer for a bit and come back expecting this huge gains and a huge surplus, and to see like what you've done, and then you've caught like you've done 10 actions and you ran out. Like that would be a bummer. So anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much going to be it for the skilling video. If you want to leave a suggestion down in the comments for other videos that you think would help you understand the game better, if you have any questions, feel free to, you can send me a private message in the game, you can send me a message, you can put a comment on the video. I answer every comment, and just try to help out. So thank you guys so much. Y'all have a great day. Swamp Donkey out.